guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Angelica and I am the creator of Love Letters to Milo. In today's video, I am really excited to show you that I finally finished this. If you guys have been following me on my Instagram, you know I've been working on this for a few weeks, like here and there, and finally finished it this week. So I am really excited to show you how I paint this in a step-by-step tutorial. It does take time, it is a lot of patience, but you know, you take your little breaks, you maybe start one day, maybe finish another day like I did, but it is a really satisfying process at the end of the day. So I learned the technique of how to gradient these colors like this with a class that I took at Domestika with Emma Capdevilla. Like, you can find her class here. She is an amazing illustrator. And she does this technique that I had never seen before. She goes through a whole, explanation of materials and watercolor techniques. And she explains this technique of like pushing the color. And it is absolutely mind-blowing. Like, it was crazy. I absolutely love that class. So if you want to take her class, you can find the link down in the description below. But in today's video, I am going to paint my little Betta Fish, and I had painted this other one before as well. This is kind of like how I started practicing, and I really fell in love with this technique. It is really amazing, and I really hope you guys like it. So I will do my best to do a step-by-step process of the tutorial. But if you guys have any questions about techniques, about materials, please let me know in the comments down below. And again, as always, if you learn anything from the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date in all the content that I upload every week. And with nothing else to say, let's jump right into the tutorial. Alright, you guys, so I painted my Betta Fish with a very soft pencil. I think it was a 6B, and I am using my Arches watercolor paper. Then I am using a teal color 640 of the Ecoline series, and I am also using a 236, which is the orange one. And like I was saying, I am using Arches watercolor paper, and I'm just for easy access, I'm putting my colors in this little palette plate thingy, and I am using this kneading eraser to sort of lift up the excess lead on the paint, because I don't want the excess lead to bleed with my Ecoline, with my paint. So then, as for brushes, it is very important to choose a synthetic brush because of its bounciness, and also because a natural hair brush has a tendency to hold a lot of water, and we don't need water. Like, this process doesn't need a lot of water, so it's almost like a dry technique. So I am going to use a variety of brushes depending on how thick I need the lines to be, or like for details, obviously I'm going to use the smaller brush. So the first step of this process is to pick up the lead, the excess lead of the painting, of the lines, because I don't want the lead to bleed with my paint. So I am picking up the excess lead from kind of the top of the paper, very lightly, because I still need to see the lines. So that is the first step. Now I am gonna go over the lines that I erased a little bit too much, and I am going to sort of just go over them a little bit more just so I can see them clearly. But other than that, this is the very first step to start your painting. Alright, so now that we are ready to put the paint on the paper, pardon my little head and my little curls over there in the corner, but I will show you guys a closer angle. So what I am doing is wetting my brush with the paint, applying it, then cleaning my brush, then drying it. See, I'm drying it, and then I push the the paint towards a gradient, towards like until it sort of disappears. So I will keep doing this repeated times, and I will try to not add any water to the pigment, just kind of push the pigment that it's already there and push it into a gradient. At this point in the process, I realized that I need a little bit of a bigger brush because the section that I'm painting of the fin is actually like one of the larger ones. So I need a little bit more brush bristles in order to move the paint a little bit smoother. So that's why I changed into a bigger brush. See how I try to just push the paint towards a gradient. So that's all I'm doing right now. So I am doing the exact same thing on the other side, and I truly apologize it's off camera, but I will show you a closer angle next where I show you exactly what I'm doing a little bit closer. But I am doing the exact same thing. I'm just pushing the paint, towards the gradient and into like a white gradient. So that is what I'm doing right now. It is very important to mention that you need to paint each fin or each section separately. So you have to leave an in-between section because you want to have separate drying times and drying edges. I learned this from a different artist on Instagram. He paints wood, and he paints each individual wood piece separately and in intervals because precisely we want to keep the drying times differently, and the edges need to have a little bit of a differentiation. They just need to be a little bit different. So it is very, very important that you paint in intervals. So I will leave you guys with that, and I will continue painting. Alright, you guys, so you guys can see how I'm pushing the paint around the paper and making it into a gradient in both colors. So I am going to go ahead and speed up the video because the process is incredibly repetitive, which is very relaxing when you are doing it, but maybe not when you're watching it for like 4 hours. So I am going to speed it up, and I will slow down in the next step, which is to add the details of the difference in each fin or in each line, each curvature. But that is going to happen much later on. But I will leave you guys with some music, and I really hope you enjoy this process. Always remember that if you have any questions about this process, about the materials, about any step, leave me a comment in the box in the comments below, or you can DM me on Instagram at Love Letters to Milo. So I really hope you guys enjoy this tutorial and enjoy this process, and I will continue with the next step in a little bit.
am ready to add some details, and I am going to use a fine liner brush, and I am making sure that my layers are absolutely 100% dry, and I am using a Camlin Pro by Arteje, but you can use any synthetic liner brush. I am using a very thin one, and it's just the bounciness that you are looking for. You need the brush, the bristles, to kind of be very flexible. So I am using the exact same color, and I am using not so much water because I want the pigment to be very saturated, very strong. So I am just adding a little bit of water to load the brush with my darker pigment, with the teal, and I am going to start in the orange part. You can do like all teal all the way through and across the entire line, but I personally like to do teal where the orange gradation is at, and then gradated into orange, an orange line where the teal primary color is at. So I am doing this very softly and lightly and very slow because I want to have maximum control of my brush. So now I completely clean my brush, and I am going to go from the other direction where the teal starts, and I'm dragging the line down to meet with the teal line. But again, this is sort of like an extra step that I take, trying to mix the two lines from orange to teal or from teal to orange, but you can use just one color if you like. It is a very satisfying process where you just kind of build a relationship with your liner brush. It is, you just have to have a lot of patience, a lot of dexterity, but you learn that over time with practice. So I really enjoy this process, but again, I am going to speed it up for the effectiveness of the tutorial, so it's not like 4 hours long, because I do paint slow, but I don't have to show you how slow I paint. Alright, so we have actually reached the end of the tutorial. I really hope you guys enjoyed this process and you had enough patience to keep watching it. I know it was a little bit sped up here and there, but you know, it is long enough as it is. So again, just a gentle reminder to subscribe and to give it a thumbs up if you learned anything from this video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!